stuck in a basement sitting on a tricycle,
No.
girl getting on my nerves.
Stupid is such a complimentary word for me when I laugh and say it's so stupid because I'm so stupid.
Mind your business. I'll just mind your business.
Just mind your business. That's it. Just mind your business. So I should record the whole episode like this, so that way if people are listening to only the audio, they're gonna think you have a brand new guest. This is Jimmy. That's I don't know. I was gonna go with something. The only thing I could think of was Jimmy Superfly Snuka. That's like that's just a wrestler that's not even alive anymore. I don't think.
I thought you were gonna say Jimmy the Sniff, and it sounded like a
Australian
gang.
deal.
Yeah, yes, it's like a mob guy who does a lot of cocaine. Jimmy the Sniff.
Naturally. I may go ahead and talk like this. Jimmy the Sniff.
You sound like Sylvester Stallone.
Yo, Adrian. I'm Rambo. I don't know. He never said that. He has never said that in any of his movies. And there's like 9 of them. Have you seen the first Rambo? First Blood, I should say. Hmm. If you saw the first one, you would be pleasantly surprised at it is not at all what you think it is. And the story is so different than any of the other Rambos as the other 8. There's
Okay.
not. There's really like 6 of them.
Oh,
Not kidding.
there isn't 8, Marie. That's like insane. But there's
There's
6.
First Blood and then there's First Blood Part 2. Why isn't it called Second Blood? Just stabbing that
And
guy
then
again.
what's 3 called? Thrice blood.
Yeah, it does. And then 4 is just a lot more blood. You know, they kind of deviate a little bit. And I was like, well, that's not very clever.
5 is there's still blood.
There's still
And
blood.
six is someone come clean up his blood.
That's it. It's like, okay, I get it already. 5 tickets, please. To someone please clean up this blood?
And then number 6 is still smells like blood in here, featuring Jimmy the Sniff.
Jimmy the Sniff. There we go. We're off to a hot start with this episode.
Oh,
Right on topic.
from movies to video games, welcome to Replays It All. Today's episode is a side quest with today's side piece,
Jimmy the Sniff.
Jimmy the Sniff.
Jimmy the Sniff.
Yeah, we have Daniel here today as a little special guest. He doesn't have to do anything today except for respond to what I'm talking about and just here for the discussion and the conversation. You know, just why not?
That's it. Marie figured like the world can use a little more Daniel just here to just, be that little tiny person that you just put in your pocket and just gives out random quips throughout your life. You go into a bank teller, whatever, just depositing a check. There's Daniel just giving off another little quip to make it funny. How funny? It's all subjective.
Yeah, depends what kind of day he's having. Okay, so in honor of Mother's Day, which just passed, I wanted to talk about some of TV and films, because my memory's not great. So
Not
I
great.
didn't want to, yeah, I didn't want to like just pick one and have to think of more for that. Yeah, so I just did the whole
No.
shebang of the industry and talk about the best and the worst moms in my opinion, that I can remember. So I'm not going to talk about like, Mommy Dearest and like who was in that. Joan Crawford, was she in Mommy Dearest? And like, no, they're hangers. I don't have any of those on my list. I just thought of ones personally that I have watched and that I love, or I'm like, oh, I hate you. What do you want to start with? Do you want to end on a high note or start on a high note? Do you want bad or good first?
Well, since this is not a strong start, we got to start off with not a good note. We got to start off
Okay.
with a bad note.
Okay. What's a bad note? Like,
Like where you just watch like either very, very bad acting, a bad
mm,
plot line, a bad movie,
mm.
or a bad character.
I was thinking like an A sharp. I don't know, like a bad note. Like what's the
That'd be more of a C sharp kind of, or it's kind of like a high
oh,
pitch, like it's kind of like ow, it's like
eh,
in your ear, kind of.
it's a little sharp. Does it like twinge?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So let's start with some twingy moms.
Gives you the
Okay.
heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, heebie-jeebie
Never say
mommies.
heebie-jeebie mamas.
All right. I'm gonna start with you don't know this though. This one you don't know
I don't.
actually, because you
I
haven't
don't.
seen this show. So Daniel has nothing to say about this. You're just gonna listen to me and you're gonna believe every word I say.
Okay, fair
Like
enough.
always. Like always.
Like always.
It's pretty much our relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first bad mom that I want to talk about is Betty Draper from Mad Men. And you haven't watched
Mm.
Mad Men really,
I
but
saw the first
spoiler
season.
alert. Okay. Okay, so this is why I don't like Betty Draper. She is everything that I just I'm not her in a lot of ways, and I'm just like, don't be like that. Be okay. She's extremely cold. She's very
Mm,
cold. She is not nurturing or compassionate or affectionate at all. I was gonna say she's immature, but I'm a little bit immature, so I mean, I can relate to that part.
a little
But
bit.
just she's really immature and self-absorbed, and she's cruel. I feel like she because it was that day and age, right? Where that was the thing to do. You got married and you had kids. And even though she probably didn't want to have kids, that was just what you did in that era, man. That was your purpose. You just tack the kids on to your perfect picket fence life, and then you pop Valium and drink martinis all day and wear your
Okay, now that
corsets
sounds
and
like
smoke
me.
your cigarettes. You know what? I kind of, you know what?
You're describing me right now. Cold, disattached. Come on, who are we talking about here? Drinking, smoking. Who are we talking about here?
You're such a bad mom.
Yeah,
Terrible
I'm a
mother.
horrible mom. I'm a terrible mother. Hey, that's why I wear sweaters on the podcast all the time. I gotta warm this cold heart.
He's one chilly motherfucker, you guys.
Yeah. I could walk into a freezer and I'm like, it's a little warm in here.
It's a little balmy. It's a little balmy in this freezer.
Yeah, it's a little balmy,
Yeah. Balmy, balm.
balmy, lip
Okay, so yeah,
balm.
but
See, that's what the little version of me in your little breast pocket when you just put that right there and I just say random word, lip balm when you're there at the stores. What was that, ma'am? Nothing. Shut up.
okay, so anyway, back to Betty. Yeah, she uses scare tactics and rules with fear. She threatens her kids a lot. She's just not great. One of my favorite scenes though, where it's just this is one scene that I remember when I first watched Mad Men where I'm like, oh my God, I love this show. It's a Betty Draper moment. And her daughter Sally, I think she's probably like, I don't know, 5 or 6 at the time. She's running around with a dry cleaning bag, plastic bag over her body. And she's running, and you're like, oh my God, that's terrible. It's just a plastic bag over her head, like a big one. And Betty's like, Sally Draper, take that off right now. And if that dress is laying on the bed or like laying on the floor, you know, she's mad about the dress. She's mad that her kid took the dress out, not because she has the bag over her head. That's parenting back in the 50s, man, like, or 60s, whatever it was. Like, that's just, if my dress is ruined, they don't care about the kids.
You know what I can appreciate about Betty? She has priorities. She has a very clear priority that she set out there to her kids.
Yeah.
Follow these rules, and you're good, right? It's teaching kids responsibility. It's teaching them having morals that you stick and
Mm.
you stay committed to. Those are some good things you can learn out of Betty. Old Betty Boop.
And it's also teaching kids that your life doesn't matter as much as mama's dress. So,
Anytime you get anything for free, and hint, kids, it's like you don't value it as much as something you paid, a
yeah.
hundred bucks for. I get it.
Dan Betty Draper. Oh God. Okay, next one. Next
Next.
terrible mother
Next.
is Miranda Hillard, Sally Field, and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mm.
Okay.
This is a good mother or a bad mother?
Bad.
Horrendous. Awful. And you know what? It's like, don't fool me, okay? Like, don't cast Sally, you know, fucking Field and then tell me, oh, everything's great, everything's glorious. No, no, no. Go into your rant.
How do you go from being Forrest Gump's mom to this?
Yeah, but
Really?
like they fooled us with that casting, right? Like
I
I'm not
know.
even mad at Sally Field. They casted Sally Field thinking, oh, well, we're gonna write a very bad character, very bad mother, but we're gonna cast Sally Field so that way you're just gonna suck it up and eat it and just say she's super wholesome, which she's not.
Hmm.
But that's what they did.
That's what they tried to do, but guess what?
What?
When you're a kid watching this movie, it doesn't hit,
Yeah,
okay? But
doesn't.
when you're adult and you're a parent, an adult and a parent, and
Yeah.
you watch this movie again, wow. Okay, it's different. It hits because I understand that Robin Williams' character is not the best husband, but he was fantastic father. And his children adored him. And you don't punish the kids by taking their father away just because you're mad at him or because you two can't get along. You don't punish the children, Sally Field. I should call you
Never.
Sally. What's a bad thing that's not a field? Sally pile of gravel and rubble
Dirt.
in a dirt in a
Burnt.
junkyard.
Burnt field.
Sally Burtfield.
Mulch. Sally
Sally
Mulch.
Mulch.
Here's Sally Mulch over here. And here's the thing, okay? What did Robin Williams really do in the movie to really validate that she needed to hate him this bad? Like, what was it? Because he was working? Like, what did he do
Oh,
that was so egregious? Did they say? Because I forgot.
yeah. He wait. Remember she comes home and he has that big birthday party. He threw that huge birthday party for
Yes.
his son. And
Okay.
there's like there
Sorry. So
the
what?
house got messy. He's like too immature for her, right? She's like this
Yes.
businesswoman and she's like hoity-toity and wants this like life
Yes.
in the show. And he's like this fun, and his jobs aren't like the bet. Like he was doing voice acting. Oh, sorry, Sally
Yes.
Field, but trying to be an actor, try to make it in this what are they industry? Okay,
Industry.
it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard, Sally Field. You should be proud. He's being the voice
Yeah.
of this like bird in a cage, and the cat. He was the voice of the cat too.
Yes, he
He's
was.
talented. You
Yes,
don't
and
remember
like,
it.
why? No, no, I do, I do. I totally. I remember him going that, like doing the voices with the parrot and all that. But so at the end of the day, she's upset because he threw an extravagant party for their son. But like, oh
Yeah.
no, you're thrashing the house. It's like, but you could just like, you guys live in San Francisco, like in a very expensive. I'm sure you have a maid. Like, what are we
Yeah.
talking about here? It's a party for your son. It wasn't like he was out drinking. He's coming home late. He's like, he wasn't doing anything that was so bad. He's just going all out for his kids. And like to you, it's like, oh, well, the house is messy. So that's
Yeah.
a little bit like the Betty. It's like, oh, well, the house being
Mm-hmm.
messy is way more important than the joy and the glee of your kids and your son feeling like he's all important.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Exactly. He was about the
Yeah.
things, and she was just so cold-hearted and selfish. You know what the worst part about that movie is, and about her
What was?
character? It really bothers me. I'll talk. Let me tell you. The way she belittles him, Ron Williams' character, the way she belittles him and talks down to him in front of their kids, just
Mhm.
I like she's so condescending when she goes to like his apartment, and she's like, oh nice, look at that, and she's like mocking his apartment in front of the kids, and I'm like, you don't do that in front of the guy's children. you
Mm-mm.
don't you don't emasculate him and make him feel like an idiot and look like an idiot just to make you look like the better one. And like the kids don't want to go home with you, Sally Field. They're his goddamn kids too.
Yes, and nobody cares that 007, that you're dating 007 almost immediately after
Ugh,
you guys have your thing. Like, come on.
right.
Yes,
I mean,
right.
Pierce Brosnan's a good guy in that movie, actually, though. Like, he's actually good, but he's too good for Sally Field in that movie. Okay, you know what? Sally
Yeah.
Mulch, you're terrible, and I can't believe you restricted your kids from their awesome, amazing, beautiful, loving father the way you did.
Now you kind of see why Eye for an Eye happened. She wasn't very nice in this movie. You don't know that movie, do you?
No,
An Eye for an Eye is where Kiefer Sutherland. I don't know if I'm gonna tell you because it'll just sadden you, but that's why it happened.
my last worst mom in this list is Andy Graham, Tony Collette in Hereditary, but I got some reasons here.
Okay.
That when I was writing this out, I was like, is she though? I
Mm-hmm.
feel like in this movie she's much more of a bad wife than a mother, but still, we're talking about moms here. She's a terrible wife though. Oh God. Listen, I know that she's struggling and dealing with like grief and trauma, and I get it. I understand. But she tells that story about almost covering her kids in gasoline and setting them ablaze. As I'm writing this, I'm like, that was terrible. But then I'm thinking about Hereditary, and I'm like, well, was she kind of like possessed by demons to like do that, or with a divine intervention to be rid of the children so that payment can't enter the world? I don't know. This is a whole different topic, but still, that was a bad thing to say.
Or is she also
Hmm.
schizophrenic and she's just like mentally not in the right place?
Could be. I know. So I kept in this like little bit, and I was typing it out. I was like, okay, I'm kind of defending her, but I need to be talking about when she's how she's bad.
Or here's a fourth
Hmm.
option. What if she's doing a fantastic deed and we just got to look at it from a different point of view?
Well, that's the thing. Was she doing a good deed because like those kids essentially became one and became a demon released into the world?
And the other
So
one kind of lost her marbles a little bit. So could say that she was gonna, protect them from pain.
yeah, I've lost her marbles. It's a nice way of saying.
In the Sally field.
Yes, but the thing that really gets me is how she treats the son. And because it's like clearly he feels extreme guilt and shame and is extremely broken and everything, and he needs like a lot of love right now. And I understand that you're dealing with the grief and everything as well, but I mean, you got a child that survived, right? You have the one surviving child. Try to put him first, maybe a little. You know what I mean? And the fact that
Yeah.
she had the seance thing, she forced that seance on her husband and her son, and they didn't want to do it. And she forced, I understand also you wanting to talk to your deceased child, you wanting to contact them. I understand. But you don't force them to have this seance when they don't want to. But
It could also be her trying to introduce them to new activities that maybe they weren't open-minded to. This could be a family activity that they could be doing, almost like game night, right? It's kind of like charades. Kind of like
Mhm.
charades, except you invited a fourth person to play, and they just weren't aware that there was a fourth person coming over. Call me Stretch Armstrong in this episode because I'm going to keep reaching.
Well, the thing is too, Danielle, is that we love Toni Collette so much and we love Hereditary
Yes, we
so
do.
much that it's like I'm like, she's a bad mom in this.
Oh, terrible.
I think, but it could be
Yes.
hereditary, right? Because her mom's actually the worst of all.
Oh,
Sacrificed
absolutely.
her
She's
whole
the worst.
family, sacrificed her whole family for this demon and riches.
Or absolutely, but you can also look at it from a point of view that the grandma felt that their family was special and was trying to give her grandson the best opportunity to become the greatest person of this world and this earth and to be handpicked by somebody of higher value and great power. So trying to elevate the family, say you, right? Because she's the one that put her neck on the line, right? Essentially, the grandma.
Neck on the line. That that was the little pocket Daniel being
See?
like, put her neck on the line. Would make so much
Do it.
sense. Double entendre. So good. Okay, so Toni Collette in
Hmm.
Hereditary, one of the worst. But guess what?
Yes.
Toni Collette as Lynn Sear in The Sixth Sense, maybe the best.
Yes.
Maybe
Absolutely.
the best.
Because she clearly knows her son's weird. He's a little weirdo, and she's still trying. She's trying to force him to make it work, right? She's trying. Bless her little heart. She's trying to make it work, despite the fact that the family went through so much pain. Despite the fact that she's bearing so much pain from her mom passing that she never actually dealt with because she was so focused on her son and the protection of him that she just buried all that at the extent of hurting herself in the process, which she knew.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
the son is the one that forces her to overcome that, which is why she developed such love for him and saw him as so grown up because it was such a mature move that he made of don't focus on me, let's focus on you.
Thank you, Pocket Daniel. That was good. Uh, I, when I was like typing out my notes as to why she's such an amazing mom, I was like tearing up really hard because I think she's like one of the best ever. She is
Hmm.
just the most warm and caring mom, doing what she can, single mom, always defending and protecting her son, even though, you know, she knows he's a little quirky, but he's also very smart and very empathetic and very sensitive. And I think those are all like just personality virtues. And she's always gentle with him, even when she's frustrated or scared. And I just love it so much. Every time it makes me want to tear up thinking about it when she's like, look at my face. Look at my face. When he thinks that she's mad at him, and she's always like, look at my face. I'm not mad at you. And it's just I love that. She'll be like on the brink of crying and she just wants to prove to her son so much that she's not mad at him. It's not about him. And she can be as frustrated as she can. And she's just like so reassuring for him. And I love how she believes him. Like when he's talking about like how he contacted or like his grandma like contacted him and has like things to say. At first she's like, this is very wrong. And then he's like, no, this is what happened. And then she believes him. And I just like I hate seeing in movies where people don't believe kids. Like it's like kids can, you know, they're more in touch with things sometimes. Like somebody just believe the kids. And Toni Collette, she believed her son. When she's crying in the car, man, he's like, I wanted to know if I made her proud, if I make her proud. And he's like, every day. Oh, that movie, so good. I just like you can really feel that they love each other and that she trusts him and that she's just like always in her son's like corner, always got his back. Like it's just Toni Collette. How do you go from that to that? Like you're just amazing, Toni Collette. We love you.
Love her. Now, here's why her character was awful in The Sixth Sense, okay? Why she was such a bad mom. Got nothing.
Okay, I got two more awesome moms. Okay,
Let's do it.
the next one is Chris McNeil in The Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
I did not appreciate her or this movie the way I do appreciate it now until I was an adult, until I had my own kids. And watching this movie now that I have children, which I watched it for like the first time in many, many years, like this past year, because it's so scary and it freaks me out. Um, Chris McNeil does literally everything she can to save and help her daughter. Everything. And you can see the wear it has on her as the movie goes on, and her mental health and her even her physical health is just deteriorating. She turns to the church even though she doesn't believe. She does everything she can. Just because like she's like, I don't even know where to go anymore. I don't believe in any of this, but I need a priest. I don't know. I also love that she's like an actress and she's like famous, but she always seems to like put her daughter before everything, like her fame and her career and
She
everything. She's
did.
like, she put that all in the back burner and she didn't care about,
Mm-hmm.
she's like, her daughter was her main focus and that's it. And one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie actually is pre possession Reagan. And there's a scene where Reagan's afraid and she goes into her mom's room to sleep with her in the bed. And there's just this like really tender, natural moment. And I love the acting is so good. And it's just like a mother daughter and they're talking in bed and they fall asleep like together. And it's just one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. And I didn't appreciate it until I was older. And I just think she's a
Huh.
great mom. And they butchered her character in the new movie. And I can't even believe again.
They never did because the movie never existed. So
I
I do
wish.
love it though, how when they're hosting the party, right? And you have like everybody that's over and she comes down and the scene where she's there and she pees herself. Rather than immediately getting completely mad or angry, she goes to immediately comfort her, right? And it's almost
Yes.
like she doesn't care anymore. And you even see her on her hands and knees, like cleaning up the pee and trying to mop it up herself. She's literally doing everything. Even when she walks into the room and she gets bitch slapped by the demon and thrown against the wall, just tossed like a rag doll. Um, you still see her fighting for her and doing everything she can. And even going into where she's speaking, she talks to the medical staff and is basically telling a doctor they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
Then finds out, okay, if medicine's not going to help me, then God's going to help me, even though she was not a religious person. Goes out of her comfort zone again to find some answer somehow. So
Hmm.
absolutely, she's a fighter. It's awesome that she's trying to grip, and I love the fact that she went science first, showing that that's the comfort. That's what makes sense from a logical standpoint. Realizing very quickly logic doesn't matter, so then she goes spiritual. And like what you
Hmm.
said, where she was an actress, and you could tell she kind of gave it all away as she had her daughter and kind of stepped away and almost, I guess, unofficially retired, I guess, as like an actress, right? Is kind of what they say. Um, it was just great.
Hmm.
Great mother. Great mother.
Okay. Last best mom from TV show. Okay, it's from a 90s TV show. I want to see if you
Family
can guess.
Matters.
No, not
Kidding.
Family Matters.
Kidding. Was she a main character or was she just
Hmm.
like she's a
She's main
main
character.
character in something?
Hmm.
Is it a white family, white woman?
No,
It's not.
no. Look, you gave me. Didn't you look like? Yeah, it's probably white. Marie, you're freaking a
Is
white
it
person again, are you?
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, Vivian.
the
Okay,
OG,
which actress? There
the
you go.
OG.
That's what I was gonna say. You know what? That's it actually really does matter. I said it as a joke, but it actually really does matter because the second
Oh,
one lacked so much heart, right? Like she's a nice person, nothing against the actress, right?
that's
She was
it.
good. But the first one, like that whole episode where she was sitting there singing in like the booth, remember that? At
Yep.
the mall? That just like define like that character, that actress was so good. And when you see her with her sister, which was Will Smith's mom, you
Mhm.
saw the sisterly connection and great chemistry that they had that you never saw the other one really have. And I don't even think they really put her in a
No,
position to show that, right? She just
I
felt
think they
almost too
did.
safe. Did
I
they?
think I think I
I just
think they
never
did a
read
little bit,
it.
but she just didn't have the personality. Okay, this is the thing. The OG Aunt Viv, she was everything. Okay. She
Hmm.
was like strong and intelligent, and she was super powerful, yet she was graceful. Like she still had
Hmm.
grace. She was this is what the second Aunt Viv was missing. She was fierce. She was so fierce
Absolutely.
and she was funny and she was talented and she always like stood her ground and stood up for what she believed in and she stands up for her kids and Will all the time and defends them and protects them, like going to the cops and just telling the cops what's what. She takes in her nephew and parented the hell out of him and helped him mature while still letting him maintain his individuality. And she does that to her own kids too. She's always like encouraging them to be themselves and always maintain their individuality, which I think is like so important. She doesn't try to make them be something that they're not. Um, she also is an awesome wife. She was just like the chemistry that she had with Uncle Phil was so good. I never forget that one episode where they're like sitting on the couch and he's like rubbing her feet and they're like singing to each other. I'm like, oh, this is so romantic and sweet. But the best Aunt Vivian moment, it's not even about her parenting. It's not about anything. It's when she dances in that dance class. And that is one of my
Hmm.
favorite episodes of any TV show ever. And I just remember watching that. And then she walks away and she has to like snap in the girl's face. She's one of the best moms ever, and I know that they didn't really get along in real life and on set and all that stuff, but you never could tell because that's just how good she was.
So good she was, and then you see later that they like apologize and seem like they made up with each other.
Yeah.
But you saw I liked how they she came off as like that queen, like how her husband
Yeah.
saw her. But then you
Mhm.
also saw that Philly side that came out. So that's what I
Uh-huh.
loved is that she played the part where you could see the high end, like the Beverly Hills and all that stuff, that where they were
Mhm.
living. But then you also saw like the rougher Philly side that came out of her that snapped, and you saw her fight for that. I like the fact that she would fight her husband, regarding her nephew and took him in, and then she never had any resentment or any animosity at all towards her sister about taking him in, right? Like it
Nope.
was always like she completely understood, and that was fine. As long as they had the resources, she was always going to take care of them. So,
Yeah.
yeah, good
She's
pick.
a badass mother and a
Yes,
badass
indeed.
auntie, or auntie, as they say it in America. But she's yeah, she's queen. She's queen mom. Queen mama. Hey, do you have any moms you thought of that you want to add, or y'all good?
Here's a good one. So here's a bad one. Did you ever see The Sopranos?
No, I've never watched
Tony
Sopranos.
Soprano's mother. She's the one that
Oh,
clearly put a lot of things on him, and even Ed. I'm not going to give away too much, but she almost had him. She tried to get him whacked too in the show. She tried to kill off her own son. That's right, power move. So there you go. There's your Italian mother,
Jimmy the Sniff just came in, tried to whack him.
Vivian
She's hiring
Smith.
Jimmy the Sniff.
That was it. Let's see who else. Let me. Okay, let's play a little game here. I'm gonna throw out
Okay.
a couple random mothers, and you give me very quick yes, no, and very quick why. Okay, the mother
Okay.
from the Jetsons.
Oh my God. Is she good? Like, I don't remember her being like, oh, you know what? No, because I didn't like. Well, hold on, wait. I'm just thinking about
She's
the beginning.
materialistic.
I was like, she took the wallet, not the money. The beginning intro, right?
Hmm.
He goes to give her the money, she takes the wallet. But I'm like thinking, but then what's yours is hers. Like, don't give her a allowance. But then maybe they're watching their money and like maybe he's like, hey, we're on a budget. And she's like, oh, I'm gonna spend on what I want. So I just like how she woke up in the morning and then she could put on a new face. I just wish I could do that. I wish like, you just wake up and you're all haggard and like a goblin and then you just pick a space and put it on. Like, oh, you know, they have that at school. I mean, she's fine.
Okay, so she's good. Okay, what is that? Wilma Flintstone?
Oh, I think she's better than Jane Jetson. I
Yeah.
think she might be
Okay.
better. She
Okay.
seems
Fair
better.
enough. Let's go with the mother in A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I mean, I just like how she's like day drinking and she has a cigarette in this robe and she's just like, "Come to the basement. I got a
Yes.
story." And I'm just like, I mean, I feel it. I mean, I,
Kind of live it.
I kind of live it. I'm just like walking around in a robe and I'm like, "You kids want to come to the basement and see where I burnt that dude?"
You say as you're recording this podcast in your basement,
Yeah, I'm just thinking that. I'm like, I'm in my creepy basement right now.
and we
I'm like,
drink on episode. So like
yeah.
you literally do that.
And I say I have a family in my basement, like hidden in the
Yeah.
crawl space that I keep there and I feed and just for my
Feed them? Oh,
pleasure
you
and
feed them
enjoyment.
now.
Feed. I feel well. You have to keep them alive, otherwise, what good are they to you?
How you know who's a really good one is the mother in Stranger Things, Winona Ryder character.
Yeah, she's pretty unstoppable, right? Like
Yes,
she
because
she's
she knows that, like when they're trying to say that her son will die, she's like, nope, he did not unalive himself, or he's not unalive. So
oh
she
yeah,
completely believed and kept
yeah.
checking out these crazy conspiracies until she found him.
Sometimes believing in conspiracy theories is good because she knew that was not her son. She knew.
Hmm.
And you don't trust the CIA or FBI, whatever it was. She knew it was a cover up. She knew. Yeah, Joyce Byers is a good one.
The government
She stopped at nothing. She like went, didn't she go into the she went into the
to the
upside
upside
down to
down.
go
Yep.
she didn't give a F. And then she marries or doesn't marry. She's dating Samwise Gamgee. I'm like, yeah.
She didn't give a field. She did not give
She
a
didn't give
flying
a
field.
field. Holy munch, munch, munch.
Mulch munch.
That was a good one. You know what? Who I almost put on for a good mom? Claire Dunphy. She's pretty good. I also relate to her though, because she's always like with her glass of wine
Okay,
and she's
she's better
neurotic
as
and
a wife, not as a
oh,
mother.
she's a really good wife. They are
Yes, but she also puts him down a little bit too. But that's fine. That's part of their thing. But she's not a very good wife,
yeah.
a mom, right? Because she clowns on the second daughter a lot, right? They always make jokes of her because she's a dork or
Mm.
nerd. And then with the oldest one, they call her dumb and they do all that. And with the young one, she doesn't trust Luke with anything, obviously. So she's not encouraging at all with her kids to the point where even the brother, right? And even Cameron make fun of her bad parenting style. So, if anyone, Phil is the better parent.
Oh well,
She's
yeah.
not.
Oh, Phil is the best everything. He's the best husband and the best dad. He's just like he's yeah.
Oh,
What?
and then finally, the best one out of all of them, okay? The Xenomorph Queen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Mm.
best mother. Okay,
Yeah.
now here's another question for you. Who is the best evil mother in those Disney movies?
So you mean like the worst mother?
The best one to you. So, whatever that means.
The
So
best
you,
evil.
the best evil mother. So to you, if that means the coolest one, it could be the one that's actually the most evil. It could be the one that's actually the nicest out of them. Which one's the best
Oh,
one to you of all the evil mothers? The one where it's like, okay, I love that character.
the stepmother in Cinderella is like that's a horrific, so sad story. Yeah, she sucked. A good mom maybe was like Aurora's mom in Sleeping Beauty, which is my favorite Disney movie cartoon. She's not a bad mom. I mean, she gave her daughter away to fairies just to protect her from Maleficent, who I love Maleficent. She's so badass. But I think she's the best mom. But those evil, I don't like that stepmother woman
So if we
in
learned
Cinderella.
anything about this episode, is that you just want to strive to be not a bad mom. Like you just said, she wasn't a bad mom. So you can
Mhm.
strive to be not a bad mom. You're doing better than the Disney princess ones.
And try to be like the mom from the Invincibles with that mega dump truck behind her. Like, I mean, that's you have to just be strive to be anything as a mama. I mean, you want to.
What was her? Elastic Girl. That's what it was.
She's an elastic girl,
Dump
but she's
truck.
got a bouncy rubber booty. That's for sure.
She's got the
She's got
Pixar booty.
a Pixar booty. Okay, what did you say? You said don't not a try to be not a bad mom or something like that.
Oh,
Try to be not a bad mom.
because you said, she's not a bad mom. I said, there you go. If we learned anything from this episode, strive to not be a bad mom,
Mm.
like for Mother's Day.
I was trying to figure out how to do not a strong start and not a bad mom into a thing, but I can't.
If you start off as not a bad mom, you can always end up as an okay mom by the end. So
Hmm.
start off as a bad mom and then work your way up to being an okay mom by the end. And then people will say, wow, my mom got really nice. Because when kids were little, kids don't remember what type of mom you are. Don't waste your
No.
good parenting or your good mothering in the early. You want to do it at the end when the people actually have a memory and they're actually going to remember it.
This is parenting advice, parenting 101 with Daniel, and he's absolutely right. If you learned anything from this episode, it's be a crappy mom in the beginning because your kids aren't
Hmm.
going to remember.
They're not
And
going to remember.
obviously do it in private where no one can see you.
Hmm.
And then you have the character development to become the best mom ever and be and then see the kids say, see, I'm the best mom. You just remembering it all wrong because you were a dumb kid.
If the first 4 years of your child's Christmas pictures is all a bunch of wrap presents, but that's all you see are the wrap presents, you don't see what was inside the wrapping, and it's all your presents, no one's going to know that. They're not going to know that you bought yourself your new iPad, right? They're just going to look and they're going to think you bought them something nice, like a little squiggle pad. It's not, it's an
Yeah.
iPad.
Squiggle pad. I know what I want for Christmas this year.
Squiggle pad.
Thank you for watching this episode of Replays It All. This was a side quest with Daniel, and what did I call you in the beginning? Nothing, just a side piece. Okay. Um,
You called me absolutely nothing. Not that you didn't call me anything. You called me nothing. That I am
mhm,
nothing. That's what you said.
mhm.
Your words.
Yeah, he is nothing. He is the void.
I am the void.
The
And the little Daniel inside little breast pocket.
He likes to be by the breast. You can find more of our content on our YouTube channel, Not a Strong Start. You can
That's right.
follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Not a Strong Start. You can
Whoop
listen to
whoop.
us anywhere you listen to your podcast.
Podcast.
Don't forget to like and
Like.
subscribe and share and all that business. You can follow me on
Biz,
Instagram at
biz,
Reproduce
biz.
It All.
You can follow me at King_Sangre. Sangre. Trying to do like the ad libs like a rapper.
Sangre, Sangre,
Sangre,
Sangre, Sangre,
Sangre,
Sangre.
Sangre, Sangre, Sangre. Sally Mulch.
Brought to you by Sally Mulch. Never stop playing and never stop mulching.
Mulching. I already know what you're
Mulching?
gonna say. Mulching.
Hey!